PJNET Live Thursday night, February the 13th. We have a bumper rolling. We have the background ready. We're waiting in the chat room for our guest who is in the green room. Let's count down to Studio 6 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, good evening. Welcome to PJNET Lives, soon to become PJNET.TV, sooner than you might think. I can't wait. Well, many of you are here because you have come to see our next guest who will be making her first ever appearance on PJNET Live, and I think you're going to be interested in what she has to say. She is overflowing with gratitude and has a heart, a giving heart as big as the Montana sky. She is not from Montana. Look at that desk behind her. Folks, she is apparently busy. Now, how she might have staged that up just for that photograph, I don't know. But even if I staged one up, my desk might appear cluttered, but it would not appear that organized anyway. And we're glad to bring in from the great state of Indiana, and she actually does not have internet where she is. So we are anticipating that it is possible that we might just lose our connection. So we're going to talk as fast as we can. Stephanie, thanks for coming in tonight. Two topics: a heart of the gratitude challenge, and then the giving challenge. I bet the two are connected, but tell us about those two challenges.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you so much for having me. I am coming from the great state of Indiana, Hoosier State. And I'll start with the giving challenge because that's what came first. On January 1st, 2011, I started what I call my giving journey. I set out, actually had a goal to give a gift every day for a year. And that turned into 522 consecutive days. And out of that came a little book called The Giving Challenge, 40 Days to a More Generous Life, which inspires to get up each morning and, think about being a giving person, a kind person, and then two, looking for opportunities. What I found on my journey is that there's opportunities all around us, but the third thing is you have to take action when you see those opportunities. And that journey, that 522 days, changed my life. I took a little break when I missed a day. I didn't intend to miss a day, but I took a little break, and then I missed giving. And I say I've been giving a gift every day since, 2013. Maybe that, but giving really does change us.
Tell me some of the examples of, obviously you did this for 522 days. I don't expect, first of all, we don't have time to hear them all. I don't expect you to remember them all, but tell us some of the more memorable giving occasions that you encountered.
Yeah, I don't remember them all. I actually have them documented on my website, so I can go back and refer to and 2011, 2012, when I know what I did, I immediately am reminded, I remember giving that gift. I did a lot of baking, so I can't cook worth a darn, but I baked and cookies. The boys next door, I had 3 boys that lived across the street. They loved me. I was always taking them cupcakes, cookies. I volunteered churches in our community in the winter because it's so cold. They take in homeless men, and so one morning I volunteered them, went to McDonald's, served the men. I actually had one day that I went into another church, and that evening served a meal to women that were homeless in our community. I volunteered a lot. That first year I volunteered over 100 hours, just finding all sorts of organizations within our community. One of the probably most heartfelt things that I did, my husband's an Indiana State Trooper. We have a passion for law enforcement, and we've had 3 friends who were killed in the line of duty. And so every time a law enforcement officer was killed, I would write a letter to either their wife or their family. And what was amazing and why that was such a touching gift is I so many letters from wives, families, or the police departments just thanking me, some lady they didn't know in another state thinking of them. So those were some of my gifts.
All right, well, let's move on to the gratitude challenge.
So that actually came out of the giving challenge. I had started gratitude journaling back in, I don't know, I think it was like 2007, 2008. Wasn't consistent with it though. They always say like write 5 things down that you're grateful for each day. And but sometime during my giving journey, I started doing that consistently. And these two things go really hand in hand. When you take an opportunity to look around for people in need that you can help. So I'm homeless, and I tell you, homeless people in almost every city that I help, whether it was and money, sometimes giving them food, is you start to become grateful for what you have. So I started recognizing that, you know what, I'm just grateful for a house, a bed, blankets. In the winter here in Indiana, it's in the teens right now, and I have heat. And I started to see how gratitude changed my mindset. Always looking more at the glass half full as opposed to empty. But then also when things, maybe not the best things were happening, is I could stop myself and say, okay, how can I flip this? What can I be grateful for? Situation. I'll give you an example. My car broke down, I don't know, a couple months ago. And my husband was out of town. So I was like stranded. But I stopped myself. I had to pull over on the side of the road and I said a prayer and just asked God, like, get me to a safe place. I was on a county road, middle of nowhere. And my car like started up enough for me to just go very slow. I put my hazards on and there was a gas station, I don't know, within a couple miles, and I stationed. I texted my husband and he actually had a friend that worked at a towing company and he was available and he came and got me. And so I just, instead of being frustrated that I broke down, it was going to cost me, to get my car towed, rent a car. I was just like, one, I was grateful. I was coming from a speaking engagement. So I was grateful that my car broke down in Indiana and not in Illinois. I had decided to take the back roads instead of the interstate. So I was grateful I wasn't on 8094 with a bunch of traffic. Like, I was grateful that my husband has a friend who's like has a towing company. Really just changed the situation for me to be grateful for the things that, I guess maybe the provisions that God allowed in that situation, as opposed to, all the negative things that come from when your car breaks down.
One of the things that and I too try to see the glass half empty. I mean, half full. It's easy to get angry, but if you learn, and it's a mindset, it's a decision that we make. But something that has always intrigued me is I know, and I just feel like that there are numerous instances where God has literally saved my life that I don't even know about. I used to ride a motorcycle a lot, and a lot at night, and I wonder how many deer crossed the road right behind me that I never saw. Would that deer, and I just can't wait for God to play the tape of all the times He intervened and spared, because Jeremiah 29:11 says that He has a plan for us, a plan to prosper us, not to harm us, and a plan to give us hope in the future. Well, I think along with that goes the notion that until that plan's accomplished, God's protecting us. Now, that's my take on it. It doesn't say that in there, but I believe it. You kind of stole my thunder. I was going to ask you about law enforcement, but you already mentioned your husband is a state trooper. But I will ask you this. I've been to your website, givinggal.com, which we put on the screen moments ago. When you started doing this, did you have as a goal all of these speaking engagements? Because I see a very long list and some very impressive clients. Is that just coincidence?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I always say I've been speaking since college. I went on a mission trip with Taylor University in 1990 and as a thank you to say thank you, I went back and spoke at those churches, and I kind of got the bug then and spoke on and off. But I will say that the topic of giving and gratitude can be very popular, and so I never intended to be like speaking the places I'm speaking or on this topic. I didn't set out to go on a giving journey in hopes that, oh, I'll be talking about giving at the end of the it's just doors that God's opened for me, but then He's closed a lot of doors, or sometimes maybe not right now. And I have to be okay with that. Certain places I thought I'd be speaking and I'm not. And then other doors open, and it's like, okay, I'm going to walk through that one and take the opportunity that's been given to me.
Well, you go with what you got, and
Yeah.
but I mean, you're out there a lot. I don't know. It didn't show the dates and all that, but your list of past clients includes churches. But I saw a lot of law enforcement, so I figured there was I connected the dots that there you were somehow tied to law enforcement, and that's quite a fraternity, and those people need encouragement. Now, for those out there that hear and see this and say, well, no, I can't do that. Your situation is different. Mine, I can't do that. What would you tell them?
Everybody can give. Everybody has something to give. Giving is easy. And what I found in my journey is that, a lot of times we think about giving in the form of money or time. And you're right. There's a lot of people that don't have their time to give and volunteer. But I would say some of the most impactful gifts were just the little things. You're at the grocery store. If you're at the grocery store, waste. Just I always somebody who's in oh, what are the chair? Those little carts. Like they always need help. How to get out of the notice you in front of you, having conversations with
Okay, we are holding on.
strangers.
Ooh, well, we might have lost her.
Always does that. Like they'll work, will mold put it. Just so the world living. So back. Are you there?
Oh, we're here. You're not there, but we're here. It's breaking up pretty badly. I don't know if you can
Oh
hear me
no.
or not, but well, we anticipated this, Stephanie, and it's fine because God kind of kept His hand on it there long enough to get the main things out. Um, if you think you can't do anything, you say, well, I just don't have any money, which actually you do. But let's say that things are tight and you need to be keeping that for your family. Okay, well, the other day I was in line and the lady in front of me, I guess she could just tell by my countenance that I was in a hurry. I was actually on the clock and just getting a snack at the Dollar General next door. And she volunteered. She didn't have that much stuff. She said, "Sir, it's fine if you'd like to go ahead and get in front of me." And I said, "Is it that obvious that I'm in a hurry?" She said, "Yeah, I can tell that you're in a hurry." I said, "Well, I'm not trying to have that kind of countenance about me." Well, I was ringing my purchase up, and I turned around, and she had a little box of tea bags. And I just took that box of tea bags and set it down on the counter, said, "Scan that, add that to mine," then handed them back to her. That cost me $1.50 or whatever. And she was as grateful as I was. We both kind of did something for one another. Folks, keep your radar up. Okay? Ask God to remove the scales from your eyes. Opportunities are everywhere. Can you make a phone call? Can you send an encouraging text to somebody? These are things that only take a few seconds, and we don't do it. We don't do them. But you don't know the impact that something like that, you don't know what that person you're sending a text to might be going through at the moment. I've been on the receiving end of that kind of grace. And folks, that's something we all can do. So Stephanie, I'm glad we had a chance, to bring you on board to share your ministry. And I'll put the website. Now you have you've written actually the two books, the Giving Challenge
Yeah.
and the Gratitude Challenge. And I presume if I go to givinggal.com, oh, there you go. Oh, here, let me get this signage out of the way. There we go.
But yeah, they're on my website. If you go to givinggal.com/shop. And it really does just hopefully challenge people, simple challenges. I try to include things that almost anybody could do. And then same with the gratitude. It's just really helping you change your mindset, looking at, your days a little bit different. But also in the gratitude challenges, I understand that life's difficult a lot of times. And I have stories from a friend who lost their child to a friend who dealt with addiction, and how gratitude helped them through the troubled times that they were going through.
That's awesome. I'll have to read it in the book. I had no idea, but I see you out there on Facebook from time to time, and I'm glad that we kind of connected, and I'm really glad you're able to show up. Sorry, the internet kind of went down there for a little bit, but it seems to be okay now. But we are out of time. But thank you for sharing with us, and keep doing what you're doing, and I hope others follow your good example. Thank you, Stephanie.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mark.
Well, that was kind of fun, wasn't it? That was fun. Well, she can hear me. She's talking to me. I'm talking. Anyway. Folks, it is J.D. Winninger up next in just a few moments. I see he's in the chat room. And he actually called me today. Boy, he's having a rough time, folks. But he's going to pull it out, okay? And if he falls down, I'm going to pick him up. And we're going to get this done. I'm going to have to kind of retool the studio and get ready for him at the bottom of the hour. So glad you're here. Hang around with us for a while. We'll have JD up next, and I'll leave you with a couple of questions. The first question is, what is the boldest thing you've ever done for Jesus Christ? And the second question is, when was that? This isn't a question. This is a challenge. And this isn't just for you. This is for all of us. Never be satisfied with either answer.